De Bruyne's corner. Holland! Goal! Here's Salah. It's Mo Salah. It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
I'm alive. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back for another deadline stream. I might just switch the stream. Let me know how the stream looks. So basically, I was just saying in chat, I wanted to try out streaming in 60 FPS because I've never done that before, and it just means like everything looks. The stream is cooked. Yeah, okay. I'm going to switch it back. So give me 2 seconds. Basically, I switched it to 60 FPS, and I think the bit rate is too high. So I'm going to pause it, and I'll be back in about 5 seconds. Go. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. So basically I tried streaming in 60 FPS because I wanted to see if it would work because my videos are in 60 FPS, but I think it's too much in terms of bit rate for some people while live. So I've switched it back. So sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully you're with me now and let me know in chat if you can hear me and everything. We'll go back to 30 FPS. We'll stick to what works. I shouldn't get creative this late in the season. Welcome everyone to the deadline stream. How's everyone doing this morning? Hopefully it's alright now. It says fine for you now. Good, good, good. It looks exactly the same. Maybe it didn't even change anything. Welcome to the stream anyway. We've got Uma here. We've got Great Bash Hill. Adrian's here. Webb's here. Cam, Low, Jai. Ash is here. How we doing, Ash? We've got Outland, The Teddy. We've got Tommy Fashion, Georgie, David. We've got Cam here. Two Flutes, Radu, Shoz, FPL Vibe, Danny. Immortal Technique. Objectives, Matt, Dave. Math World, welcome all to the stream. How's everyone doing this morning? I've made one transfer. Gabriel came in last night just in case there was a price change. Who actually went up and down? Doku, O'Reilly, Verbruggen and Welbeck. Anyone get 3 risers last night? Just O'Reilly and Verbruggen for me. It doesn't really matter at this point in the season, to be fair, unless you need that money to go early, like, or if you're going to sell someone that you buy now. Otherwise, it doesn't make a difference this late in the season. But yeah, I ended up going early on Gabriel because, you know, why not? Just in case I need that money later in the season. I might be a little bit tight affording Bowen at 38. Oh, Nihilism with the 10 gifted straight off the back at the start of the stream. Thank you, mate. Welcome to the 10 new members. I've actually got my stream deck set up here. There we go. Thank you very much for your support, Nihilism. Welcome to the 10 new members. Thank you very much. I hope you're well, mate. Thanks for the support. What a start to the stream. Good morning as well to Heather. We've got Torb here. We've got Low, Tom Hopkins, Jackie, Dave, Shoz, FPL River. Welcome all to the stream. So Palmer went down last night. Stroik went down. I guess those are the main ones. And Boomo, Gordon. Oh, Bowen went down. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. So, double game week 36. How many doublers has everyone got in their team? Maybe we should do a poll on that. How many doublers? How many doublers have you got? I'm going to assume everyone's got 3 or more. So I'll do 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't think anyone's going to have 2, are they? Like, it just doesn't make sense to have only 2 when a City have got double that are both home games. You've got 3 all City. More than FPL Sav. Yeah, so just a 3 for me. I've ended up no Palace. So, I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? Because, I mean, Palace, like, you've probably heard it all week in content. Like, Gleison said it himself after the Bournemouth game. They're all focused on Europa now. So, I think it's a nice fixture if you've got, like, an Everton defender or Dewsbury Hall or Ndiaye, Pickford. It's not a bad game to play them in. And then, obviously, like, if you are looking to make a transfer and Everton players are options, they've also got Sunderland home at 37, so I actually quite like Dewsbury Hall and Ndiaye, maybe Keane since Branthwaite's out for the season. Bellman, thanks for the super chat, says, hi Oscar and chat, start 2 out of Tavernier, DCL and João Pedro, good luck all this game week. There's a lot of players that are really close this week. Like for me, I had Tavernier, Hill and Thiago, and they've all been in my starting 11 this week. I would say Tavernier and João Pedro. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about... So the first game today is Liverpool versus Chelsea. What do you think the score will be for that one? Because obviously Chelsea have been so bad. But Liverpool have been pretty poor as well. Like Alisson is still out. Salah's still out. There's clearly stuff going on behind the scenes. Like Salah was had a pop at like about Liverpool's level, and then Slot was asked about it, and Slot was kind of having a pop back at Salah. I don't know. It could be one of those games where there's quite a few goals. And defensively, Liverpool have been so poor recently, which was another thing I was talking about in content. Like over the last 6 game weeks, I think it is, they're 4th worst in the league for XGC. Oh my God! Tim's just gifted 50 memberships. We're not even 10 minutes into the stream, and Annihilism's gifted 10, and then Tim's gifted 50 memberships. Oh my God, I'm still waking up for like, what a start to the stream. Thank you very much, Tim. Welcome to the 50 new members. Tim, thank you very much, mate. Tim has arrived. Oh my God. We've only been live for like 7 minutes. Oh, Tim, thank you very much. Welcome to all the new members. Appreciate you. Thank you, Tim. Tim's on a mission to win his mini league. Big cash league, to be fair, and he's closed the gap. It's like 12 points now, I think, and he's got the bench boost active. It's all to play for. But you're rolling this week, I think, Tim, right? Thank you, mate. Annihilism as well, thank you again. Also said, I'm torn on who to drop for Lacroix. Senesi or Stroik. Am I right to lean towards keeping Senesi since Bournemouth could push for UCL? If money's not an issue, then yeah, I'd lose Stroik. Just double check if there's anything you could use that extra money on. Because it's like 0.9 mil difference. That's the only thing I would mention. But yeah, in isolation, I would keep Senesi. I mean, you might not want to start him in any fixture, but this week's not bad. Game week 38 is not bad. Obviously, you don't play him against City, but I'd rather sell Stroik for sure. Just double check if there's anything you could use that money for. You know, for example, maybe you'd want an extra Arsenal defender in 37 if you've only got one. Maybe that 0.9 mil enables you to get Saliba. I'm looking at White. I might buy White. The chat is frozen. Oh yeah, so it is. If I do this, and then this, does that fix it? We're back. El Chivers says, Wildcard 35, bench boost 36, got 1 free transfer, DCL or Thiago to Welbeck, or roll for 2 free transfers for flexibility in 37 and 38, such as Rice to Saka, or getting rid of Palace injuries and punts. Yeah. I mean, to do Rice to Saka, aren't you going to need 2 transfers? So I would roll. If you were set on buying Saka, I would roll. Welbeck is really nice this week, but that flexibility, like you said, in 37 to buy Saka or maybe someone else you'll end up wanting. Maybe in 38 there's an important transfer that you'll need to make. You don't want to take a hit in 38 ever. Music a bit down. Oh, I can turn it up. How's that? I'm still going to be struggling with the music levels when it's the 2036-37 season. But anyway, hopefully that's a bit better. Oh, 360 can hear it. He says banger. Right. Triple captain or bench boost this week? I would triple captain this week and use it on Haaland. If I still had it. God, I wish I still had it. Did anyone else go triple captain Gabriel? Turn it up, mate. It's a banger. Hey, I made this song, so I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I used it on Gabriel when Arsenal had that double. What an error that was. But what was so frustrating is Gabriel had been so unbelievably consistent. The Arsenal defence had been elite, and then they go and concede in both double game week games. You've not taken a hit this season so far. I haven't either, to be fair. I think there's actually a chance I'd take one in 37. But I'm a bit undecided. But potentially I'll take one to bring in White. I've got a feeling White's going to start the next 3. He was really good against Atletico. Like he's starting to get back to his best. I think White is a proper rhythm player, and obviously he's been out of the team and Timber's favoured. But White's been getting better and better recently. He was so good in the Champions League. And I think Arteta's just going to keep playing him. Get that rhythm into him before the Champions League final. Arteta wasn't sure if Timber will even be back this season. So has anyone else looked at White? He's in my head because he's only 5.1 mil as well. So in game week 37, I could take a -4 for Saka and White. That feels kind of okay. As far as -4s go, home to Burnley, I think you've got a chance of that being repaid in the final 2 games. What does a doubler mean? Just tuned in, not up on all the jargon. As in, like, how many players have you got that have got a double game week? So this week, City and Palace have got a double game week. So how many players have you got from those 2 teams? So for me, it's just O'Reilly, Semenyo, Haaland, so 3. Is Skelly worth getting? Nah. Again, he could keep starting, but it feels a little bit riskier. Like Zubimendi could get a start. Blake says start Bowen or a punt on Asula. Are you saying you've already got Asula? I wouldn't bring him in. I'd probably just start Bowen. I wouldn't spend a transfer on Asula. If you were looking for a striker punt, Welbeck's the one. Like if we look at goal scorer odds, he's second this week actually. The odds assume that the player starts, so like Costulas won't obviously, but he's there just in case. But yeah, Welbeck's second after only Haaland. 0.6 for projected goals. Gyökeres is up there. Anyone buying him? Richarlison, Watkins, Semenyo. Who else we got? Calvert-Lewin a bit further down. Krupi. There's Thiago. I've been really tempted to start Thiago. It's a difficult week, this one, because there's actually a lot of players that just don't move the needle in terms of rank. Like Haaland's going to be... What do you guys think? Haaland effective ownership this week? I think it'll be over 200%. Maybe like 210%? 220%? So Haaland's not going to help you rank at all. O'Reilly's not going to help you rank at all. In fact, again, City clean sheets are going to hurt your rank this week. City defence will be over 100%, so that's going to hurt rank. Gabriel is going to hurt rank if Arsenal keep a clean sheet. So, like, looking at my team, a Bruno as well isn't going to help rank. So I've got Haaland, Bruno, O'Reilly. I've got 4 players that don't actually help my rank. 3 of them hurt my rank. How mad is that? So this week, it's a 7-player game week. If you've got those same players as me anyway. If you've got Haaland, Bruno, O'Reilly, Gabriel, You're basically down to 7 players this week that will actually make an impact on your rank. So it's a tough game week. And I've got no Palace. And I've only got the one Arsenal. Yeah, it's a difficult week, this one. I've only got 2 transfers. I'm going to spend one more during the stream, which is going to be Semenyo to Cherki. Christopher says, Haaland will help my rank. Triple captain, baby. Yeah, if you've got your triple captain active, then no problem. Yeah, he'll do great for rank. How we doing, Hover Dude? There's a super chat from Prince Farouk. He says, hey, Oscar, welcome back for another stream. I've got Verbruggen, O'Reilly, Van Heck, Gabriel, Semenyo, Bruno Mitoma, benches Darlow, Thiago, Hill, Gudmundsson, 1.4 mil. You're thinking Palmer to Saka and Gudmundsson to the Kraft -4. I don't know if I'd take a -4 for a Palace defender. I'd consider it for free, but not for a -4. So you've got a perfectly good back 3 there as well. Semenyo, Bruno, Mitoma. I don't think you need to take a -4 here. I think just the Saka move is fine. That's it. Yeah, I would just do the Saka move. I wouldn't take a -4. And like, who would you bench anyway? You'd have to bench like Tavernier or DCL. I'll just do that, not take the hit. Annihilism says, selling Senesi gives me more in the bank to upgrade Tavernier to Wilson/Bruno G. Or should I do Semenyo to Cherki this game week for extra funds, or am I overthinking it with the Tavernier swap? Yeah, the only thing about Wilson and Bruno G is like, are they that good? I know Wilson's got Wolves. I'm not sure about Wilson now. I was thinking about him, but I don't know. I guess he's alright in 37. Let me just go back up and see your team again. Just also check who you'd play if you sell Senesi. Like, have you got good defenders for the rest of the season to play? Without knowing the rest of your defence. Like if you've got, so O'Reilly, Gabriel, maybe you've got like Van Heck and Hill or something, then I would sell Senesi. I'd put here. If you can find a good use for that money, I would get rid of Senesi first. In terms of Semenyo to Cherki, I'm going to do it, but yeah, I think I'd rather do Semenyo to Cherki now that you've said you've got him. That's what I'm planning to do. It's a difficult one, Semenyo to Cherki, because Semenyo could just get more minutes still, and he could still do better than Cherki, but it's not even close when you compare their underlying data recently. And I was reading through the Man City forums this morning and last night at predicted lineups, and some of them don't have Semenyo in. It's hard to gauge though, because it can often just be what they want rather than what actually will happen or what Pep's going to do. But yeah, a few of them on there were calling for Semenyo to sit a game out. Maybe Foden comes in. I would do that, Annihilism, and just skip Palace. Adam King says 2 free transfers. Would you use both to do Palmer to Saka, Semenyo to Cherki, or just do one? I kind of feel this week like Palmer to Saka is a little bit sideways, but I might be deluded. But it's just this feeling I can't shake. Like Music Kiwi says, "Hey Oscar, just saying you're the FPL GOAT." Thank you very much. I'm not sure if that's true, but thank you. Like Liverpool, I know Chelsea have been shocking. Their underlying data has been better than how they've actually done results-wise. Liverpool have been really poor. Alisson's still out. Dashvili's a doubt. Salah's out. They've got a few players out. They're in a bit of a dip in form. I don't think it's that bad, this fixture. Palmer is ice cold and not in a good way. Yeah, I think I would do both, Adam. I think... Well, it's probably going to be either spot on or completely wrong, but I think Palmer to Saka this week is a little bit sideways. So it's only going to go 2 ways, that. It'll either be like spot on or it's going to be a massive swing and Saka smashes it, Palmer blanks again. I just don't think we'd be having this conversation as much either if Palmer just buries that pen last game and finishes on 7 or 8 points. Maybe I'm wrong, we'll have to see, but I don't mind too much waiting to 37 myself to do that Saka switch. I guess if I had a third free transfer, I would consider it a lot though. You've gone Palmer to Szoboszlai, interesting. Gibbs White to Saka. Yeah, if you've got Gibbs White, Cotton, I'd probably do that. It's unclear if he's going to play. That face injury looks brutal. James says, hi all, 1 free transfer, leading my mini leagues, 20 points. And Cherky owners are on my tail, so I'm thinking Palmer to Saka and a -4 Semenyo to Cherky. Am I going crazy? Okay, yeah, I get it. There's 3 game weeks to go, and the people on your tail have got Cherky. I think that's fair enough. So, yeah, before the game week started, it's a 16-point lead. But you've got the insurance against the Cherky owners. I think that's fine. I think that's okay to play like that at this stage. Is anyone else doing that? Like, you're trying to defend a mini league and you're looking to go defensive mode? Yeah, that's fine, James. Annihilism says, Verbruggen, Darlow. Okay, Gabriel, O'Reilly, Van Heck, Senesi, Stroik. So you've got Gabriel, O'Reilly, Van Heck. Xhaka, Haaland, Welbeck, DCL and 2 frees. Yeah, I would do the Cherky switch. And you play in midfield Cherky, Saka, Bruno, Tavernier, Haaland, Welbeck. Yeah, I would just do the Cherky switch. I don't know if I would spend the second one actually. You just roll it into 37. And you either do a 4-4-2 with Senesi and you bench DCL, or you go 3-4-3 and you start DCL. And just roll the second transfer in Nihilism. You'll want that in 37, I reckon. D, thank you for the 6 months. Says bench 1, Tavernier, João Pedro, DCL. I would bench DCL out of those 3. It's super close, but I would say DCL. Sidhu says start 2 out of 3. Wilson, Thiago, João Pedro. I would start Wilson, João Pedro there. Yeah, I don't mind Thiago this week, even though it's City away, but I would rather start the other 2. João Pedro to Gyökeres. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's a difficult one though, isn't it? Because like, was it Tottenham home in 37, Sunderland away in 38? It could still do alright, João Pedro. It's not over for Chelsea, as bad as they've been. Like, it's probably not going to happen. But if Villa win the Europa League, what is it? Is it 6th place that gets Champions League then? Or is it 5th? Does anyone know what the story is with if Villa win Europa and Champions League spots? Annihilism of the 20 gifted memberships. Oh my god, this is a crazy stream already. We've got 50 from Tim, 20 and 10 from Annihilism. Thank you very much, Annihilism. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you for your support. Welcome to the 80 new members. Thank you, mate. Man's insane. Sixth, get a Champions League spot. Yeah, so what's the table looking like? So as it stands, oh yeah, so they're 4 points behind. It's not impossible, but they need to win 3 out of 3, Chelsea, for a good shot at it. Like, Brentford would probably lose to City. But Brighton have got Wolves this week. Yeah, like, you know, if Bournemouth lose away to Fulham, Brentford lose to City, and Chelsea beat Liverpool, it all comes down to today's game. It's not over. As bad as they've been, like, you probably wouldn't expect them to get it now, would you? But if Villa win the Europa League, it's still on. But I don't know. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention as well is, like, James is back. I feel like also a big part of their drop-off has been James's injury, and he's back. Whether he starts, we'll have to see. He came off the bench last game. Oh, so Villa have to win Europa and finish 5th. Yeah, it might be over then. Now to one with the 12 months, 1 year. He says, thoughts on Calvert-Lewin to Welbeck. Yeah, I like that. I rate that as a transfer. That's good. I'd be happy to do that if I had DCL. Agok says, Thiago to Gyökeres or roll. 3 free transfers. Already got Saka and Gabriel. The thing is, Thiago's got Palace home in 37. So it's a tricky one, that. I don't know if I'd want to sell someone that plays Crystal Palace home in like next week. Do you know what I mean? Such a good fixture. I don't think I would do it. But obviously, I know Gyökeres has got Burnley home. I don't know who your third forward is. Maybe they're better to sell in 37. I don't mind it though. It's not a bad move. DCL to Gyökeres is the ideal one if you've got the money for that, but I guess you don't. What transfers has everyone made this week? Let us know in chat. What have you done this week, or what are you doing? So the poll was, how many double Gameweek players are you going to have? 64% 3, 20% 4, 10% 6, 7% 5. Okay. Iboob says, I'm leading my mini leagues with 145 points. Still got the triple captain. Well, that's like totally wrapped up, let's be honest. And you still got your triple captain. You're doing Palmer to Saka. Nice. Well, that's a massive lead. You've wrapped that up comfortably. What's yours, Oscar? I'm going to be doing Semenyo to Cherki. I did Strike to Gabriel, and then my second transfer, one more free transfer, is Semenyo to Cherki. My toxic trait is I always lie on Oscar's polls. That is outrageous. You're muddying the data. Matt says, wow, thanks for whoever did that. It was probably Annihilism or Tim. They gifted a load of memberships just now, so it was one of those two. Van Dijk to Lacroix. Yeah, I think that's good. It is outrageous. He's intentionally throwing my polls. What should we do a poll on now? Chips active. Which chip have you got active? Oh, he's going to vote wrong again, so... Triple captain, bench boost, other, and none. I'll go with that. So I guess there's not going to be many wildcards or free hits, but I'll put it as other. Get your votes in. Rightly or wrongly, honest or dishonest. Mark says, hi Oscar, 6.1 mil, 3 free transfers, Semenyo to Cherki, Cucurella to Gabriel, and then Ampadu to either Szoboszlai or Bruno G. I'm planning to own Captain Salah in Gameweek 38. I prefer Zobo to Bruno G, definitely. But yeah, I like the other two moves as well. Ampadu to Zobo looks great. I like it. Yeah, go for it, Mark. Best replacement for Okafor. How much have you got in the bank? You could go for like a 1 week punt on a Gross or a Hinshelwood, or you could go like Szoboszlai for the next 3 game weeks. Oh, before I forget, shout out to Stonehouse and Izzy as well. Hope you're both well. Thank you for watching. Yeah, Bruno G, he's an option. I like Zobo more than Bruno G, but Bruno G is nice. This is Dave says, 2 free transfers, Palmer to Saka, Senesi Gabriel. I'm selling Senesi instead of Strike because it allows me to do DCL to Gyökeres in 37, keeping Semenyo thoughts. Yeah, that makes sense. That looks good, Dave. DCL to Gyökeres is such a good move in 37. Like, I might even have Gyökeres myself in 37, but I'd have to sell João Pedro when he's got Spurs home, so I might end up just going double Arsenal defence instead. Yeah, that looks good. That makes sense. Bobby says, morning champ, I can't get to Saka without -4. Is it worth it? I'm thinking Timber to Munoz, Tavernier to Cherki. Good luck everyone, and thanks for the content as always, Oscar. So, are you not on Triple City, Bobby? Do those moves let you buy Saka for free in 37? I do think it's worth leaving the door open to buy Saka in 37. Like, he might even be the best captain. It's hard to say right now. Okay. So Tavernier to Cherki, yeah, I would do. And then Timber out is fair enough, yeah. He might not even play this season, so he's a sell. But just make sure you've got the option to buy Saka in 37. I was saying earlier, like, if you're not on triple Arsenal already, you could do Timber to White even. I think Munoz versus White is potentially quite close for the final 3. But yeah, Munoz is good. Definitely better this week. Basically, like Munoz, you just play him this week and that's it. Whereas White, you could play him all remaining games. Bruno G's a must. I do like the Bruno G. Proper differential as well. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he smashes it the final 3 game weeks. Ewan Killeen says, bench 2 out of Thiago, Tavernier, Wilson and Dewsbury Hall. I would go Thiago and... It has to be Tavernier, I think. Thiago, Tavernier. Wilson's got the home fixture. Dewsbury Hall's got Palace, so I'd play him. Yeah, I'd bench the first 2. DJ Bagel Pup says, bench boost him of 1-3. He's doing Mukiele to Canvo. Wilson to Sarr. Garner to Gross. Hang on. So what is that, like a -8? Gross, Garner to Gross, Van Dijk to Munoz and Lacroix. I'd probably just keep Garner then take a -4. Like, he's got Palace. If it's a -4, I wouldn't take a hit to sell Garner to Gross, personally. Van Dijk to Munoz. I feel like it's Wilson, but he's got Wolves next week. Cheers. Yeah, I wouldn't sell Wilson either. I don't think you need to take these hits. Mukiele to Canvo is fine. I don't know if I'd do the others. If you really want to go on an extra Palace, then sell Van Dijk. And I'd go Lacroix. I think Lacroix would be my favourite Palace defender. Yeah, I wouldn't take all the hits though. Mark says, I've done Hill to Lacroix and Palmer to Wilson. Team is for Bruggen, O'Reilly, Lacroix, Gabriel, Bruno Tav, 1 free transfer, 3.6 mil left. Okay, so Hill to Lacroix, Palmer to Wilson. So you got 3.6 mil. 1 more transfer. What if you do Semenyo to Cherky? Does that leave you with money for like one of your midfielders to Saka in 37? That could be good, Mark. Because like, what's Semenyo is 8.1. So what's Cherky? How much does Cherky cost? I think it's like an extra 1.5 mil you free up. So you'd have like 5.1 million. So like that would let you go Hinchelwood to Saka in 37, wouldn't it? So that might make the most sense with your last free transfer. DBW or Hinchelwood? Who's DBW? Is that Dewsbury Hall? Probably Dewsbury Hall, because he's good for this week and next. But if you only need them for this week, then Hinchelwood. If you need someone for the next 2, you could even use Dewsbury Hall in 38. But the next 2, Dewsbury Hall's better. This week, Hinchelwood's better. Isn't Semenyo to Cherky a bit sideways? Yeah, potentially. The underlying data has been way better for Cherky. Like, I was looking on my scout tables, and if you look at like, I'll get you the exact numbers. Recently, it's just, I mean, it's what you're seeing with the eye test as well. Like, Semenyo's been moved to right wing. He hasn't returned in ages. Cherky's looking a lot more involved, more central to everything. I mean, Pep could just change it and, you know, put Semenyo back to second striker or left wing, but, yeah, it's a really difficult one. It feels just about worth it to me with a free transfer. I'd be reluctant on a -4. Just waiting for this to load and I'll give you the exact data over the last 6. I don't think it will fit on screen, so I'll just read it out once it's loaded. So, here it is. Over the last 6 game weeks, Cherky's got 3.02 expected goal involvement, 3.02. Semenyo's is 1.27. Cherky's created a couple more big chances. He's taken 8 more shots, 6 more shots in the box. So over double the expected goal involvement. So I think it's worth it. Some City fans are even saying Semenyo should sit a game out. I don't know if that'll happen. Maybe in one of the double Gameweek fixtures, Foden comes in, Cherky to the right, or Foden down the right. Hard to say. It's one of those, but yeah, at the start of the week, I just felt like it's not worth it. But the more I thought about it, I think it's worth it. Because also, the other thing is, in my case, might be different for you guys, but it frees up money to do extra stuff later. Like I can do Thiago to Bowen in Gameweek 38. Thiago's got Liverpool away. Bowen's got Leeds home. And sticking with Semenyo doesn't afford me that. So that's also a consideration. Saranjeet says, please share some free hit team options. For that, we can actually use my Team of the Week widget, which looks like this. So how many players have you guys got? Team of the Week on the on FPL.page is Henderson, Lacroix, Munoz, O'Reilly, Bruno, Cherky, Minte, Matoma, Szoboszlai, Haaland, Welbeck. I really like that actually. Like on a free hit, triple attack versus Wolves is the sort of thing you just punt on for 1 week. Maybe Hinchelwood instead of one of these two. But I think Minte and Matoma are nice. Welbeck definitely. Haaland, Cherky, O'Reilly. I'd have the same triple up. I'd go triple Palace defence. You got 3. That looks really good as far as a free hit team. So yeah, I would go with that. You could tweak a few players if you want, like Hinchelwood in or Gross in. Maybe some instead of Szoboszlai, but I'd pretty much go exactly like that if I was free hitting. Tavernier or João Pedro? João Pedro maybe? Kuba Melenda says, my favourite YouTuber for the FPL the past few years. Thank you for the videos and advice as always. I've got Team Dilemma. I sent you on DM, Twitter name's Kuba. Thank you for the nice message first of all. Let me read what that says in the DM. On where? On Twitter? I don't see it there. That's why I don't normally do it via DMs, because it's difficult for me to find it. I get loads. You sent it on Twitter, but you're not there in DMs. I haven't got it here. Sorry. God, I've got so many requests here. I haven't looked at this for a while. Yeah, it's not there. Sorry. Put it in chat and I'll try and spot it. Yeah, it's better to put everything in chat, guys, because I might miss it. Or sometimes Twitter just doesn't even send them through. But I'll try and spot it in chat. Eugene says, my team is Donnarumma, Guehi, Gabriel, Van Heck, Watkins, benches, Hill, Gibbs White, Chow and Roofs. So you've gone double City defence. Okay. I don't know how many transfers you've got though and how much in the bank. So it's hard to advise. Looks like a roll though. I don't think it's worth, unless you're sitting on like 4 or 5 transfers, I don't think it's worth swapping Donnarumma to Cherky. If you've got a few transfers, Donnarumma to Cherky, and then like Gibbs White to, sorry, Donnarumma to Verbrugge and Gibbs White to Cherky. Yeah, they meant X. You've got Senesi, Hill, O'Reilly, Van Heck, Gabriel, Gross, Bruno, Semenyo, Palmer, João Pedro, DCL and Tavernier. Okay. So, you could do Semenyo to Cherky, and if you've got, it depends how much you've got in the bank. You could do Senesi to Gabriel, Semenyo to Cherky. Oh, sorry, you've got Gabriel. Probably just Semenyo to Cherky, and if you've got a second transfer, Palmer to Saka looks good. Triple captain O'Reilly. I don't dislike it. I'd use it on Haaland if I still had it. FPL Joe, Oscar, that kit creator tool is awesome. Really impressive work, cataloguing all of those. Thank you, yeah. I'm glad I made that tool because the Premier League used to have the kits on their website, and then obviously they did like this whole redesign this season, and they've taken them all down. So that's like the only place where they're archived now. So yeah, the ones I just made yesterday that I tweeted about, I had to do manually. Bit of a pain, but I think it'd be worth it to keep the archive going. If anyone doesn't know what I'm on about, I've got this thing on my site, like a kit tool. It's just for like profile pics or banners, or I guess FPL graphics, and it's got like all the kits since 1992. So yeah, I made that a few years ago, and yeah, they removed all these kits. They used to be on the Premier League website, so luckily I had them all downloaded and made this tool. But yeah, I've had to manually like make the ones for this season. They're not up yet, but we'll have those up soon. Right, Kano says, I'm in a cup versus a villain. Thinking of getting Zobbo for Tavernier. Start, bench, order, triple captain, active. Verbruggen, Darlow, O'Reilly, Van Heck, Gabriel, Saliba, Justin, Cherky, Gross. So you bench Darlow, you bench Justin, you bench DCL, and you bench Tavernier, no? Do you need to make another move? I don't think you need to buy Zobbo, do you? Because then who do you bench? Yeah, DCL, Tavernier, Justin and Darlow would be your bench. I think that's fine. I don't think you need to make a move. You just start João Pedro. I guess you could bench João Pedro if you make the move, but you've already got. Yeah. I don't know. It's a little bit of an upgrade, but I don't know if I would do it. It is a bit of an upgrade this week, but I think you can just bench and it's fine. And then you've got 2 transfers for next week with 4 mil. Like, you might want that 4 mil. You might want to do DCL to Gyökeres and then some other second move. I probably wouldn't do that. It might be a bigger move to make later, Kano. Massam says, Oscar's my favourite FPL YouTuber. Wait, Oscar, my favourite FPL YouTuber is Harry. I thought that sentence was going somewhere else. What do you mean your favourite is Harry? You're in an FPL Focal stream. I'm going to have to send that to Harry. Wait, let me just screenshot it. Let me send this to Harry. I've been set up. The thing is, when I see a message, I start reading it out loud before I actually read it. What I should do is read it first and then send. Alright, hang on. Where's Harry? I've sent it to Harry. Harry is great, to be fair. Thank you, Massam, though, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Monkman says, "G'day, Focal, mate. Is it worth sacrificing Truffer or Kadioglu to Lacroix from -4? Nah, I wouldn't do that. Kadioglu's great. Kadioglu's like amazing this week. I wouldn't do that. Keep Truffer, keep Kadioglu. They're both fine for this week. Especially Kadioglu. He's another one, actually. If you're on a free hit, like, you could chuck him in. Sylvanta says, Oscar, you're my favourite FPL YouTuber. There we go. Someone likes me. Someone likes me. Appreciate you. Thomas says he's 28 points behind. Mateta or Sarr or Cambo from -4. I don't think I would do that. Not from -4. Like, what are the odds Mateta starts both games and Sarr? They'll both get 1 start, maybe 2, but for -4 as well, I would... Nah, I wouldn't. I would look at something else next week for free. DK says, help, I'm chasing triple captain. Help, I'm chasing triple captain Doku or O'Reilly. If you're really chasing O'Reilly, but how much are you chasing by? Because maybe you're not as far behind. I don't know. Yeah, it depends how much you're chasing by. I think going against Haaland this week is really bold. I did see Ross is going O'Reilly captain. So I would rather him for sure over Doku. I don't know. Let's do a captain poll perhaps, because I think Cherky versus O'Reilly is also really close. So the poll is, which chip have you got active? 40% have got triple captain active. Oh my god, this week's going to be so hard. This week, Haaland's not going to help rank. O'Reilly's going to hurt rank. An Arsenal clean sheet won't help rank. Bruno's not going to help rank. And there's triple captains active. 15% of bench boosting, 42% not using one, 4% other. Let's see what the captain poll's saying. Surely this is going to be like 90% Haaland. Maybe not. I didn't expect so many triple captains. Who's your captain? Haaland, Cherky, O'Reilly, other. Surely no one's captaining a Palace player. Abdullah says, I'm going Stroik, Palmer and João Pedro to Lacroix, Saka, Gyökeres, and I've got one more free transfer. So triple Brighton, Arsenal, City. What do you think? Yeah, I like that. That's really strong. Just keep the other transfer. Use it in 37 or 38. Gabriel cap. Are you going Doku captain? Okay. Triple captain Haaland. Yeah, I've not got any chips left either. I'm all out. Mitoma starting. Yeah, I think he was in the predicted lineup, so should be okay. Start 2 out of Van Heck, Hill, João Pedro, DCL. Van Heck and João Pedro, I would say. Gyökeres this week or next. Depends who you're selling for him. I think it's okay to delay it a week. Why have you doubled up on Chelsea attack? They've scored 1 in 6 against Forest B team. I had them on Wildcard 32 because Chelsea had the double game week. At the time, it didn't seem so bad to go double Chelsea. Some people even went triple with like Enzo or like Cucurella. And it's just, I've had other stuff to do since then. I'm going to sell Palmer next week. I think João Pedro I'm keeping for the run-in. Oh yeah, something I wanted to try. I don't know if any FPL YouTuber's ever done this because it's probably not very clever, but you can disable super chats, and I wanted to just do that if possible. Maybe just for like half an hour, so I can answer more regular messages and chat. Let me see if this works. Because I mentioned on the last stream about it as well. I'm conflicted about super chats, but you all said like leave them on, so I just wanted to kind of experiment with turning them off for half an hour. I don't know if that's worked. Let's see, because then I can just like properly go through messages and chat as well and answer as many as possible, and then I can just turn it back on in a bit. Let's experiment with it. Is it worth activating the bench boost this week? Whichever week you've got the best bench in. If your bench is good this week, yeah, use it. Can't you start a YouTuber league with Harry, Focal, Davey, Let's Talk, Raptor? I'm in one with Ross and Harry. I suppose, yeah, we could just make one big one. FPL Gameweek has got a content creators league. It's like a virtual league. What's your plan, Oski? I'm looking to do Semenyo to Cherky. I made one transfer last night, which was Stroik to Gabriel. So second free transfer, Semenyo to Cherky. And then in game week 37, Palmer to Saka is probably what I'll do. So if I do Semenyo to Cherky, and then 37, probably Palmer to Saka. I'm actually considering, I guess, Van Heck out to White for -4. I'm going to really think about it. Cause I don't know, he's got Leeds away, Van Heck. It's not bad. Man United home in 38. But does White, assuming he starts the final 2 games, does White outscore Van Heck by 4 points? I guess I could play Hill in 38. He's got Forest away. Either way, does White outscore by 4 points? So I'm thinking about that. And then game week 38, Thiago to Bowen. So it would be something like that for Game Week 38. I've got 0.6 mil spare on that, so that's fine. It'll be my first hit of the season though, so I don't know. Kano says Zobbo's also playing Villa just before the Europa League. Yeah, I do like Zobbo. I think he's valid. He was on the free hit team. Yeah, Zobbo's nice. Obviously on pens as well until Salah's back. So that could be like the next couple of games. Zobbo's also on pens and top of set pieces, free kicks, corners. Probably playing more advanced as well in Salah's absence. Amati says, "Hi mate, good morning. What are your transfer plans?" I'm going to do Semenyo to Turkey, and that's it. I've already done Strike to Gabriel. Best time to free hit Oscar? Probably this week, to be honest with you. I would use it now. This is the free hit team. Or the team of the week widget on the FPL Focal app. Thiago to Gyökeres or Havertz? Gyökeres if I was picking one, yeah. But it depends who you're starting instead if you bench Thiago. Does Hall start? I mean, I've seen Burn in some predicted lineups, so maybe not. Probably not the best person to ask about Newcastle, but I have seen Burn in some predicted lineups. So possibly not. Bring on Dewsbury Hall for Scott. Yeah, I would start Dewsbury Hall. Why did you make the transfer yesterday already if you don't need the money? There was a chance I did need the money. There's a few different transfer routes that I'm considering. Like I could get like Gyökeres instead, for example. So it was just in case, basically. Buy Welbeck for Thiago. I like it. It's just, I guess it depends how many free transfers you've got. Because if you've got like one or two, I don't know if it's worth it. Because Thiago's got Palace home with 37. And I feel like that's almost as good as Welbeck with Wolves home this week, if you know what I mean. So that's a really nice fixture in a 37 for Thiago. You get a better fixture out of Welbeck this week, and it just depends if you can then bench or sell Welbeck in 37. I guess you could play him away to Leeds, it's not too bad. I'd say it is a slight upgrade, yeah. I'd rather do like DCL to Welbeck. That's the sort of move I think makes more sense for teams that have got that set up. If you had an extra transfer, who would you change? If I had an extra one, I'd probably do Palmer to Saka. Why Dewsbury Hall over Garner? It's just more explosive, like high ceiling, I would say, Dewsbury Hall. He's got a few double-digit returns this season. Garner's great as well, though. He's much more of a DEFCON pick than attacking returns pick. Start Tav or Palmer? I would start Palmer. Gyökeres now or Ryan next week? I mean, Gyökeres is a lot higher ceiling for the final few weeks, so I'd say Gyökeres. Start Hill or Thiago? Probably Hill. Hill or Devaney? Hill. Where's Super Chat gone? I'm experimenting. It's probably not a good idea, but I've turned it off for half an hour. I just wanted to try it out because I'm a bit conflicted about Super Chats. Like we talked about it in the last stream, and everyone said just leave them on, but it feels kind of weird taking donations sometimes. But I know it's like a nice way to support the stream and stuff. So I thought as an idea I could turn it off for half an hour, and then I can also answer as many questions in chat rather than missing loads. Because I do miss lots of messages. I will regardless, even right now, of it off, but it lets me answer more, even if it's just for half an hour. So experimenting with it. Start Kelleher or Dubravka. If anyone's got like a keeper dilemma, I would revert to the clean sheet odds. So Brentford 7%. Where's Dubravka? 14%. So Dubravka. How's Teddy? He's good. I'm not sure where he is. I think he went back to bed. Is triple Arsenal defence not an option? No, it definitely is. It absolutely is. It could outscore double defence and Saka, for example. It's a good idea. You're thinking Palmer to Szoboszlai, DCL to Gyökeres? Yeah, I like that. That's a good set of moves. Okafor transfer of the season for my team. Yeah, he genuinely has been. Did you captain him as well, didn't you? A couple of weeks ago. Or the last 2 weeks, was it? Brighton joint top with City on the clean sheet odds, 46%. That's City's Palace game. Arsenal 38. Villa also 38. Burnley. City's Brentford game is 34%. Brighton joint top as well with City on projected goals. I mean, is anyone going triple City attack, for example? That's a nice differential. If you go Haaland, Cherki, Semenyo, I actually don't mind that. I think that's got a lot of potential. Like, all you need is for City to concede in one of the games, maybe both, and then the attackers to chip in, and you've comfortably outscored the O'Reilly combination. But yeah, O'Reilly's going to be like 100% effective ownership, so risky one. King of the Game Week then. Who are we saying this week? It was Awani last week, which no one got. Who's King of the Game Week this week? I'm going to go with a City player, but I'm not going to pick someone I own. I'll go Mateus Nunes, King of the Game Week. DCL or João Pedro? João Pedro. Richarlison King of the Game Week. You reckon? You'd need like a hat-trick, I reckon. Strand Larson, Mateta, Wharton, Watkins. Watkins I could see, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if he bags like a brace and an assist or something against Burnley. He gets, what would that be, like 13 points, is it? Or more, something like that. Bowen King of the Game Week. Haaland, Minte, Verbruggen. And Dye or Dewsbury Hall. I mean, and Dye's better, but he's a lot more expensive, so it depends if you can use that money for something. Are you starting Palmer? Yeah, I'm starting Palmer. He's in my 11. Vert's King of the Game Week. Surely not. What should we go for this week? We've got Pomegranate Piranha, Watermelon Whale, Citrus Cobra, or Strawberry Shark. I'm back on the energy ones with the caffeine because it's a morning stream. Evening streams, just the hydration ones. Morning ones, the energy ones. Maybe Watermelon Whale. I've not had that one. Yeah, mate, if it's Wert's King of the Game Week, I'm done. I'm going to go Watermelon Whale. Strawberry Shark. Alright. Strawberry Shark. Shout out to Holy Energy. Do check them out. Link in the description. They're doing tenner off on the starter packs. Plus, there's a couple of coupons in the description that you can stack on top of that. So they're sponsoring the channel for the rest of the season. Zero sugar. No sweeteners. No taurine. Natural flavours. That's nice. Yeah, shout out Holy Energy. Do check them out. Link below. Keep your questions coming then. Start Tavernier or João Pedro? João Pedro? You're not making a transfer, Oscar? I'm going to do Semenyo to Cherki shortly. Captain Pole. Oh, is it frozen? 83% Haaland, 7% Cherki, 8% O'Reilly, 2% other. Strike to Lacroix. Yeah, I think that's good. What was the poll result? It's in the chat now. 83% Haaland captain, 8% O'Reilly, 7% Cherki. Johnny says, come on people, smash the like button. I always forget to ask. Yeah, do hit the like button. Or dislike if you're not enjoying the stream. That's alright as well. It's all considered engagement in the algorithm. Ship Watkins for Gyökeres. Not this week. Definitely not before Burnley. Cherky triple captain. Oh, if you're really chasing, you need the ultimate upside play. But I still think Haaland's the best triple this week. I think the captain widget this week was literally only Haaland on 5 stars. Yeah, everyone else is on 1. So, as far as the captaincy widget, this week it's like Haaland's by far the favourite. But yeah, Cherky O'Reilly, the next 2 best, I would say. Oh, we've got an hour till deadline. Is Sarr a good signing? Probably not. I think he's too risky to start both games. I wouldn't be surprised if he's benched one of them. What's your opinion on Núñez? I don't mind him, honestly. I don't think he's that much worse than O'Reilly, but I think O'Reilly is better. Best Okafor replacements. If you need someone, it depends how much money you got as well. That's the thing. Like, Zoboslai's really nice. If you need someone just for this week, you can go like Hinchelwood, Gross. Dewsbury Hall I like for about the same price. He's got Palace this week, Sunderland home in 37, Spurs in 38. What's your highest score ever? That's a good question. I'm actually not sure. I think it's about 180. I don't remember what their biggest ever score is in FPL. I don't actually remember. It's something like 180, I'm pretty sure. I couldn't even tell you which season, but there was a huge week a few years ago. Are you going for Cherky? Yeah, I'm going to do Semenyo to Cherky, and then it'll be Cherky Vice. Start Krupi or Bowen? Probably Krupi there. We know that he's definitely on pens as well now. He's got Fulham. It's not the worst fixture. Bench Senesi, Tavernier or DCL? I'd bench DCL out of those. Lohan says, hi, did I make a blunder bringing in Calafiori to go Saka and Gabriel? Potentially. I'm not expecting him to start the next 3, if I'm honest. I think Nkapia will start in the Champions League final. So he'll definitely give Nkapia a start, maybe in 38. Maybe this week, it's hard to predict. He's been good as well, Calafiori. You're just going to have to stick with it now, though. Stick it out. 198 points on your first ever season. 207 is your highest. 207. Thiago or DCL bench? Probably Thiago between those. Yeah, I'm going to start Palmer. Palmer form is a bit concerning. What's your opinion? Yeah, if I had an extra free transfer, I'd probably do the Palmer to Saka move. And I'm just going to have to hope to get a bit lucky this week with that game. I know Chelsea have been shocking, but Liverpool have been pretty poor as well. And they're still missing Alisson. Mamardashvili's a doubt. Salah's out. And there's clearly some stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, Salah's not happy. He was saying... Salah was criticising the team in a way that he doesn't really do ever. And then Slot responded in a way that was... Slot said something like... He kind of implied, like, Salah's been bad. But he said, like, you know, I can't say it. I can't remember how he worded it, but it wasn't great. So, I don't know. Maybe this is the game where Chelsea finally get a result and remember how to score. They've been a bit unlucky compared to their data. They have been bad, but not as bad as however many wins on the bounce they're on. We'll see. I mean, if it's like a high-scoring game, perfect. Maybe it'll end up one of those sort of fixtures, like a 2-all, 3-all. Oh, Vidat, thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate you. I didn't know gifted still work. I thought I'd turned everything off. Let's turn it back on now anyway. That was a good little experiment. There we go. Cool. Thank you, Vidat. Gross or Dewsbury Hall? This week, Gross for sure. If you need someone for the final 3 weeks, Dewsbury Hall's better though. Hello, you Valverde doppelganger. No Saka for you. I'll get Saka in 37. Yeah, this week I don't have the free transfers, unfortunately. Thoughts on Matoma? If you've got him, play him. I wouldn't buy him though. Could Thiago outscore Wilson this week? It's possible, but I'd say Wilson is likely to score more, and I'd rather play him. Thoughts on Virgil? I mean, I'd be looking to get rid if I had him. Like, Arsenal defence looks good. I guess you really might have triple City, otherwise O'Reilly looks good. You could go Kadioglu for a big 1 week punt. It's got the joint best clean sheet odds. Goal threat. Morning, Razan. How we doing, mate? Hope you're well. How do you feel about Gyökeres? I think Gyökeres is a good transfer. I don't expect him to get 90 in the next 3. I think that early subs are very possible. But he is good, given the fixtures. This next game on paper, the hardest one remaining. After that, Burnley home. Cracking fixture to have Gyökeres. And obviously Palace in 38. 3 days after Gameweek 38, Palace play the Europa Conference League final, so that's a really nice fixture as well. Like, Palace will surely rotate heavily. So I think Gyökeres is nice. I don't think it's the end of the world if you just buy him in 37 instead of this week. But I can understand some people doing it this week if you've got like DCL, or maybe you don't want Thiago. You don't want to play Thiago away against City. I'm going to trust you on Matoma playing. If he scores more than 10 points, I'll be your butler for a week. Yeah, he was in predicted lineups. FPL Instinctive is like the best man for Brighton predicted lineups. And he's got this predicted lineup for Brighton. So he's got, yeah, Matoma left wing, Minte right. He's got it as a yellow, so 75 to 90% certainty. So the question marks mainly are Duncan Belieber. The rest he's pretty confident on. So yeah, Hinchelwood looks great. Gross, if you've got him's nice. Matoma and Minte, if you've got them, you definitely play them. He's got them as yellow, so I wouldn't buy them. But if you need a 1 week punt, Hinchelwood, Welbeck are great. And just on that actually, there's a really cool graphic I came across from Rob T. And it's basically like an on the beach graphic. And what he's done is he's put like odds against game weeks about basically indicating the percentage chance that a team is locked into an outcome tier by game week. So in a nutshell, the lower the percentage, the more they've got to play for still. And I thought this was a really cool representation of teams on the beach versus teams that have got everything to play for still. So for example, like Brentford 2%. They've got it all to play for still. Bournemouth still super low. Brighton super low. Chelsea 21% still fairly low. Everton, Fulham. Yeah, and then you've got teams like Newcastle, Leeds, Palace, Forest, where it's pretty much all done. Obviously it's not going to play out exactly like this, but it's an interesting way of looking at teams that have got lots to play for still versus those that, you know, are sort of on the beach, so to speak. What time's the deadline? It is at 11 AM UK time. Connor says, what do you think of these moves? Casemiro for Ndai and Zubimendi in for Ampadu using my 2 free transfers. I wouldn't sell Ndai. I would just sell Ampadu. Ndai I feel like is a hold. Yeah, I'd keep Ndai. He's got Palace and then he's got Sunderland home. I would keep him. Ampadu out is fair enough. I wouldn't buy Zubimendi either though. Lewis Skelly's been starting ahead of him. So I wouldn't do either of those moves actually. Wildcard still available, what do I do? I would activate it this week. I would have triple City, triple Palace, triple Arsenal and Bruno pretty much. Tazlaw, thanks for the 18 months. Hi Oscar, transfer him Palmer and João Pedro out, Saka Gyökeres in. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Go for it. Atizo says start 2 out of Bowen, Maguire, Van Dijk and Hill. Hill I would start, and I guess it'd have to be Maguire with Sunderland. And you bench Bowen and Van Dijk. I mean, Bowen's playing the best defence in the league, so I think that's alright to bench. And Virgil, Liverpool's defensive data has been terrible, so I think he's okay to bench. Maguire and Hill start. Ballard's season is over as well, because he got that red card, 3-match suspension, so maybe we'll get a Maguire bullet header. Midfielder under 8 million. Szoboszlai. Who else is there? I think he might be the best one. Triple captain Cherky or no? I would use it on Haaland, personally. Unless you're really chasing maximum upside, then Cherky and O'Reilly. What transfers are you making today, Mr. Focal, sir? How formal. I'm going to do Semenyo to Cherky. That'll be my transfer. The other one I've already done is Struijk to Gabriel. Triple captain or bench boost? Triple captain, I'd rather triple captain this week, because you've got double game week to use it on. Who's DBW? I'm sure you asked this earlier, and I said who's DBW. If it's Dewsbury Hall, then I'd go for him if you need someone for the next few weeks. If you need someone for 1 week, Hinshelwood. Yeah. Rodgers or Watkins to start? I would start both if you've got them. They've got Burnley. Definitely play both. Raya and Wilson or Saka and Dead Pot? Who's Dead Pot? Is that Dead Spot? If you don't need the Dead Spot, I'd go the Saka combination. Mr. Focal, sir. I love it. Very formal. I've got a team like you with 1 transfer. Should I do Semenyo to Cherky like you or Palmer to Zobo? Well, I'm looking to do Semenyo to Cherky personally, so that'd be my answer. I prefer that to selling Palmer. Instead, I'm looking at Palmer to Saka and 37. Head into Harry. He's answering all the questions. No worry. No worries, thanks for swinging by. On a bench boost, would you sell Struijk for Kadioglu? Yeah, I would. Kadioglu's significantly better than Struijk this week. I would do that. Start Van Dijk or Pedro? Pedro. Yusuf, same team as you except DCL instead of Thiago. 3 free transfers. Depends how much you got in the bank. So you could do Cherky in for Semenyo, Palmer to Saka, DCL to Gyökeres or Welbeck. Can you afford all 3 of those? That looks good. Mr. Focal Senpai Sir, Gyökeres or Lecraft, my second last transfer. I think Gyökeres is better. I know, Simon, mate. You're telling me. I'm right there with you. Oh dear. Dimitri says my bench boost is Raya, DCL, Bogle, and Eze. I've got 1.5 mil in the bank, 1 free transfer. Would you recommend any moves? I've got Gabriel, Welbeck, Verbruggen, triple City and Palace, Bruno and Rodgers. Well, Bogle's not ideal on a bench boost, so. But you've got triple Brighton, or have you got 2? You could do Bogle to Kadioglu. Perhaps that's your best bet with that last free transfer on the bench boost if you're not on triple already. Otherwise, maybe just leave it. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. You could just leave it as that. You know, maybe he gets a goal involvement, maybe he gets DEFCON, probably concedes. But maybe you'll need the 2 free transfers and the 37 instead. For example, if you don't have Saka. That's all I would consider there. No worries, Dimitri. Josh says, why not Saka this game week? Arsenal don't keep a clean sheet in my opinion. I just don't have enough free transfers. If I had 2, I'd buy Saka for Palmer. But in theory, I think Semenyo to Cherki is a better move this week. Maybe that's wrong, but... How are we doing, Gaurav? Good to see you, mate. Yeah, I think I prefer Semenyo to Cherki and then buy Saka and 37. I do think there's a chance that Palmer and Saka do similarly. Like, maybe they both get a goal involvement. I don't know, we'll see. Like, James is back. He's been a massive miss and has kind of coincided with a dip in form. I was saying earlier, like, Alisson is still out. Mamadashvili could still be out, so it could be a third choice. Woodman in goal still. Salah's still out. I'm not sure about Isak. It could be an open game. Don't you have 2 free transfers? I did. I've spent 1 on Struijk to Gabriel. 13 Killings. Hi, can you help with this, please? 2 free transfers, 0.5 mil bench boost left. Henderson, Munoz, Gabriel. Okay. DCL, João Pedro. Darla, Rice, Struijk, and Gomez. So, is Gomez is out, isn't he? So he's got to go. How much is Gomez? Gomez is 4.9 mil. So you've only got 5.4. So Gomez to Dewsbury Hall. Probably your best option. Well, how much is Hinchelwood? Oh, he's only 5.1. Yeah, maybe Hinchelwood. Just go Gomez to Hinchelwood. And then bench boost this week. Yeah, I would use it this week. And then your second move, you could do Semenyo to Cherki. That's what I would consider. Cherki and Hinchel with him. Dewsbury Hall's also nice. Yeah, I would go for that. Like, if you need a player beyond this week, then Dewsbury Hall's better because he's got Sunderland home in 37. He's got Spurs in the 38, so he's nice for the next 3. Whereas Hinchelwood's like this week only. But he's higher upside this week, I would say. But like Dewsbury Hall's got Palace, to be fair. That's a nice fixture. JGRF says, Professor's Focal, sir. I've got my bench boost active, but stupid FIFA is injured. And I've only got 1 transfer, 5.3 mil to spend. Do I minus 4 Thiago? It'd be my first minus 4. Oh no, I'd just bench boost Thiago and sell FIFA. I probably wouldn't minus 4 Thiago out. I'd probably just sell FIFA. Again, like, you could go Dewsbury Hall, you could go Hinchelwood. And I would just leave Thiago in. Hey, you never know. Ash has given Focal the gold medal, Harry silver, and then Andy and Ross joint bronze. It says, in my opinion, all good, friendly community. Thank you, Ash, for the gold medal. I don't know about that. I think, like, Harry's very good. Ross is very, very engaging. Andy's the GOAT. There's a lot of good channels. Who do you guys watch the most in terms of videos? Not streams, like videos. Who are your favourite FPL channels? Sebastian says, hey, Richards or Camvo for Palace? Who's likely to play more over the double? We've already got Munoz and Lacroix. It's a coin toss. Probably Richards. Could be either. Triple captain Haaland, nice. Probably Richards, but I don't know if I'd spend a transfer on it. You watch me and Andy. Yeah, Andy's great. Focal easily. You and Andy. I mean, Andy's having an absolute season of his life as well, isn't he? He's absolutely smashing it. Is he top 1k? God, he's having such a good season. It's crazy. You and Harry. Focal, Let's Talk, and Black Box. Black Box is great. Trigger's great. I love him. Nick's fantastic. I love how dry he is, Nick. Team Focal only. Bro said Mr. Beast. Who said Mr. Beast? FPL Focal Mr. Beast. What? Didn't know Mr. Beast did FPL content. Praz is excellent, yeah. Love Praz. FPL is good, yeah. Professor Doctor FPL Focal. Going back a bit, Mark and Granville. Yeah, great shout, Johnny. I met Granville at one of the, I don't know what you call it, FPL Fest things for Gameweek 1 a couple of years ago. It was really cool meeting him because I used to watch the Scoutcast with him on. And Mark's obviously like the GOAT as well. Yours, Fran and Harry. Yeah, Fran's great. I like Fran's content. Alright, let me catch up on chat. Josh was saying, I'll get Gabriel in 37. In 36, what was that? Palace, Osaka, Semenyo, Cherky. Yeah, that's fair enough. Who's CP? Crystal Palace? I think that's fine though. Yeah, Gabriel in 37 is fine if you want to do it that way around. Salam says, would you play Wilson or Ndai? Wilson or Ndai? I guess Ndai if I had to pick one. Yeah, I like Ndai. Amate says transferring Doku instead of Cherky. I'm not considering it personally. I like Cherky more, but yeah, I mean Doku obviously got that brace last game. Over the last 6, he's got more points than Cherky and Semenyo. So yeah, he's going under the radar a bit, but I still like Cherky more. Yeah, is Cherky worth captain? If you're really chasing, I think you can go Cherky or O'Reilly captain. It's absolutely not out of the question for either of those to outscore Haaland. I do think Haaland's the best this week, and I'm definitely on Haaland. Is Semenyo starting? Well, I don't know, we'll have to see. I think he probably will. Like, some fans are saying give Foden a start. Some even saying Savinho, but I just don't see that happening. Who knows? Crabman says, which one to start? DCL, Senesi or Tavernier? I think this is so close this week. There's a few players like DCL, Senesi, Tavernier, Thiago that are all really, really close. I've got Hill and Tavernier, and I've started Tavernier. So I would say Tavernier, Crabman, but it's so close. Like Senesi, if we go over to DEFCON for a second. If we load the DEFCON preset, like 71% hit rate for Senesi is best among all defenders. It's actually Hill's second best as well, 68%. So like you've got a really good chance of getting DEFCON, which is the 4-pointer. Maybe 3 if he concedes twice. Or it could be 8 if he keeps a clean sheet, or more with bonus. But Tavernier's attacking data has been super good. I know he's off pens, but he does have the corners, free kicks. I've gone Tav, but it's so close, and I really wasn't sure about it. I would say Tav though, just about. But it's one of those. Go with your gut, because we're talking about coin flips. Is there a chance Cherky gets benched? I mean, he's one of their best players recently, so I'd be surprised, but it's not impossible. Same with O'Reilly, to play devil's advocate. They've got a hectic schedule. Like, they've got, so Brentford today, and then on Wednesday, they play Palace. 3 days after Palace, FA Cup final. 3 days after FA Cup final, Bournemouth. And then 5 days after Bournemouth Gameweek 38. Probably doesn't happen, but you never know. HF FPL has got Haaland, Welbeck and João Pedro. Do I do João Pedro to Gyökeres or wait one game week? I think it's okay to do this week. Have you got Saka already, or already got a plan to buy Saka? Because I think I like Saka more than Gyökeres next week. But maybe you're getting both, I don't know. Maybe you've already got Saka in your team. I think it's so tricky, this one. It's so hard to get a read on what Chelsea versus Liverpool is going to be. What do we think today's game will be? First game of the game week, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Scoreline predictions. I don't know. I think there's a chance it's going to be alright for Chelsea this game. Maybe it'll be like a 2-2 or something. I think you can potentially afford to wait a week and just see with Gyökeres. You got Saka already. Like, I think Gyökeres starts. There is the whole Havertz factor, and Gyökeres definitely won't be getting 90s, but I think he will start games. I think I'd wait a week. It's so close, but I think I'd potentially wait a week there. You reckon 2-1 to Liverpool? 2-1. 3-2, 1-1, 2-2. I don't know. It's hard to imagine clean sheets for either team, isn't it? So then it's like, who will be involved in the goals? And James, like, back from injury, such a huge boost. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's like a bit of delusion because I've got double Chelsea attack, but I don't know. I think Palmer to Saka is only a slight upgrade this week, so I don't mind too much keeping Palmer in there. Oscar says, Dubravka or Ruffs in goal this week? Let's check the clean sheet odds. Sunderland are on 17%. Dubravka's on 14%. So it's not much better, but I'd go Ruffs. Extra 3%, is that? Yeah. I'd go Ruffs. I would agree with that. This is Dave says, Senesi to Gabriel or Semenyo to Cherki. Oh, if I had to pick one here, I would say Semenyo to Cherki. That just feels like higher upside, basically, because of the double game week. It could swing the other way, obviously, but I think that's higher upside to do the Cherki move. I got a message from Tom this morning. He's done Semenyo to Cherki, for those that are wondering about what Tom's done. I can't remember what else he did. I think he was looking at... I think he's bought Gabriel. I think he didn't have Gabriel and he's bought him, and maybe Welbeck. Chelsea players, LeMayo. Mate, trust me, I'm selling Palmer next week. I think I'll keep João Pedro for the run-in. It's not bad for the final two, like Spurs home, Sunderland away. God, that run of losses though, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 6 losses on the bounce is actually crazy. James, thanks for the super chat. With no message. No message in chat either. Or was there? I was trying to look at what you meant to say. Nothing there. Joshua says, 3 free transfers. What moves are popular? I think popular moves... Oh, let's look at the most transferred players. I think Cherki would be a popular one. Oh yeah, he's the most bought. Cherki's number 1. Saka's number 2. Haaland's number 3. And Gyökeres, Sarr, O'Reilly, Lacroix, Doku. Right, I'll be back in 2 secs and nip into the loo because I had a tea before I went live. Plus, that's gone straight through me. 2 secs. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, so those are the most popular moves. O'Reilly, Lacroix. Some people go in Palace, but not that many, to be fair. And most sold. Yeah, Gibbs White, Thiago, Palmer, João Pedro, Semenyo in 5th. Therefore, didn't wash your hands. I did. Unsubscribe and you're just ignoring buy. What, for going to the toilet? Fair enough. No worries. Thank you for the 31... Oh, I've lost it. Where does that go? From Vanek. He says Palmer to Saka or Beal to Lacroix / Munoz. I would say Palmer to Saka is probably better. Unless you have to play Beal, then I would do the Lacroix Munoz move. It depends if you... Yeah, it depends if you have to play Beal. If you do, then I'd rather do that. But if you've got like Senesi or Hill or someone like that you can play, then I wouldn't do it. Sorry, yeah, just catching up, Jay. So you were saying, hey mate, I've got one free transfer. Do you think it's wise to transfer Palmer out for Saka? My team is similar to yours, bar 2 players. You've got 2 transfers, but sticking with Palmer. I've only got one left now. I've bought Gabriel, and I'm going to spend it on Semenyo to Turkey. If I had a 3rd transfer, I probably would do the Palmer to Saka. Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think Palmer to Saka is an upgrade. Probably not a massive one, but I think it is a good move, yeah. If I had another transfer, I'd be doing that. I'd sell Palmer if I had a 3rd free transfer, but I don't. I've just got one, so Semenyo to Turkey. Liverpool and Chelsea's projected goals have just dropped off a cliff. Minus 0.28 for Liverpool, minus 0.17 for Chelsea. I'll be waiting on any injury news. I've not seen anything. Maybe someone's out for today's game. Who would that be for Liverpool? Like Isak? Salah's still out, we knew that. Not seeing anything here. Don't know. Maybe Dashvili's back for Liverpool, but I don't know if that would have much of an impact. Don't know. Joe posted. What did he post? Just about the odds. Rob T posted as well, but he didn't mention... Oh, not as much of a change. Sorry, I'll get back to Super Chats in just a sec. That was what Rob T's posted. So, Liverpool's have dropped 0.11 goals. But he's not really said anything on Chelsea there. Is that within the last hour then, Joe? Because Rob posted that an hour ago and he's not got any Chelsea movement there. Or is that on Poly Market? Don't know. Not sure. Who knows? I'll make my move near the deadline anyway, just in case something comes out. But it is what it is, isn't it? Maybe the bookies just don't back Chelsea. Right. Big Daddy with the super chat with no message either. Pick 3: Tavernier, Hill, Senesi, João Pedro, Palmer, and DCL. I would go Palmer, João Pedro, probably Tavernier out of those. Has anyone spoke to Cucurella's barber on that Chelsea odds drop? I think Senesi versus Tav is super close, to be fair, but probably Tav, João Pedro, Palmer if I had to pick between those. They're all really close. Hill, Senesi, DCL were like fine as well, but that's what I would go with the attackers there. It just happened within the last hour. Oh, okay. And the odds are still dropping. That is interesting. What does it all mean? So Liverpool went down minus 0.25. Chelsea went down 0.16. And now Liverpool down 0.28. Chelsea down 0.2. Don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe there'll be some leaks near the deadline. Oh, let me ask that Liverpool guy. Where is he? Brilliant stream as always. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Same drop on the sharp markets and exchanges. Usually a solid indicator. Well, who's out then? Who would it be? It has to be one of Palmer or João Pedro, wouldn't it? If there's a Chelsea player out, it's got to be one of those. Projected goals over time, Chelsea versus Liverpool. This is not ideal, is it? Because now I've got to try and work out if something's happened here. There's a chart there from the analytics Discord. So what was it on? Like 2. What is that? 2.05, and then it's dropped to 1.8. I don't know. I'll have to see if something comes out. I don't know if it will. It's the first game of the day, so maybe something will come out. Liverpool I'm not so much worried about because I don't own any anyway. I'll try and follow that. I just need to catch up on the super chats as well. Goran says, play Dango Brobby or get Welbeck from -4. I would play Brobby there. Constantin says, Tavernier or Dewsbury Hall to start. I've got Lacroix. I would start Dewsbury Hall. We'll have to pause super chats. I'll have to just catch up here, and then I've got 20 minutes to look at any news and if anyone's out or something. Yeah, I haven't got any Palace players. John O, thanks for the 29 months. I went Saka, Gyökeres and Gallagher, Spurs, because YOLO. You went Gallagher, fair enough. Good luck. Good picks. I mean, Saka and Gyökeres are good picks. Gallagher, we'll see. LES playback, Palmer to Saka, but I've got triple captain this week. Saka's still got bench to be, so I'm going to save that for next week, 2-week transfers to save the Bournemouth guys. Yeah, Palmer to Saka's good. Triple captain, definitely, I'd use it. I'd bench boost next week. I would triple captain now if you've got it on Haaland. Tomovic says, sell Watkins to the Gyökeres from -4. I'm on a bench boost. Nah, definitely not. Watkins has got Burnley. Keep him. Simon says, wildcard team, please. If I was wildcarding, I would go something like this, but I would have Gabriel and I'd have Saka in there. Along those lines. Basically that, maybe, but have Gabriel and Saka in. I don't think I'll have enough time to do a full team, but basically that. Maybe 1 or 2 fewer Brighton players, but along those lines. That's team of the week, so the best team for this week. And then you just kind of have to add a couple of players that are better for the final 3, you know, like Gabriel and Saka. Alex, thanks for the super chat. Salam, thank you as well. Surf says, Osula or Gallagher to start, must have wildcard players. Probably Osula, honestly. Must have wildcard players, triple City, so O'Reilly, Cherky, Haaland, Saka, Gabriel, probably Saliba in there, or Raya. Bruno, definitely. I think those are the main ones. Random guy says, I'm 3rd in the money league. 1 and 2 have got Semenyo. Do I do Semenyo to Cherky -4? Yeah, if you really need to find a way to make up the ground, I would say, yeah, do it. It's possible they do the move as well, that's the thing. But I would say, yeah, to make up the ground, you've got to take on their Semenyo ownership. Salam says, playing catch-up, no triple captain, Haaland captain all. I guess the alternative is Cherky or O'Reilly. That's what I would do if I was really chasing. But it depends by how much. You know, because if it's like 15, 20 points, you might be able to make it up just with a very good game week between now and the end of the season. Rob T says it just means it's primarily driven by groups betting the under on total goals. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything on Liverpool or Chelsea and the odds plummeting. Let's have a quick look for leaks. Just based, yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of João Pedro or Palmer out. Don't think we'll know before the deadline. Liverpool, it's potentially we get something, but I don't have any Liverpool players. It's just Chelsea. I'll ask about Liverpool as well, though. Right, so there was a super chat from Ogia says, I've got 3 free transfers, similar team to yours, but I've got Saliba and DCL. Do you think it's wise to do Saliba to Gabriel, Semenyo to Cherki, and then Palmer to Saka? I think Saliba to Gabriel's a little bit sideways, unless you need... I'd probably delay that Gabriel move to 37 just in case there's something more pressing that comes up, because that's really luxury. Gabriel is better, but it's pretty luxury. Fotmob's got Delap predicted to start him. But João Pedro as well, or just Delap instead of João Pedro? MT says, hey Oscar, who would you choose between Ndai and Dewsbury Hall in for Tav, and would you triple captain Haaland when I'm behind 70 points? 70 points is going to be really hard to make up. You're going to have to go against Haaland to have any shot at that, and you'd need Haaland to blank and whoever you go for to put up, like, you know, 15, 20 points, sorry. Ndai is better than Dewsbury Hall, but it depends on if you can use that money for something better later. You know, if that lets you bring in an Arsenal defender, or maybe like DCL to Gyökeres or DCL to Bowen at 38, for example, then Dewsbury Hall's better. But yeah, if you need to make 70 up, I would go against Haaland for sure. It's your only chance, but it's probably almost impossible. V says, I'm chasing, but I'm behind 14 points. Which is better? Semenyo, Cherki, and Tava to Zobo. Senesi to Saliba. Tav to Casemiro. DCL, Yok. Now, the first one's the best, yeah. Semenyo, Cherki, Tav, Zobo. That's the strongest one for sure. I would go with the first option. James says, I missed the bench booster this week and missed the last deadline. Still top 25k though. 4 free transfers. So you got Darlow for Bruggen, Struijk, O'Reilly, Van Hek, Tav, Bruna. Okay, so you could do Semenyo to Cherki, Palmer to Saka, Struijk to Saliba, and I'm not sure about the 4th transfer. Maybe just keep it. Welbeck to, sorry, maybe João Pedro to Welbeck. Difficult. You probably just spend 3 transfers and keep the 4th, and then you've got 2 and 37. Right, so a quick skim on Twitter. $15 till deadline. I'm going to do Semenyo to Cherki regardless. It's just like if there's some news that, I don't know, Palmer's out, then I would just do Palmer to Saka. I don't know. It's hard to gauge really, the whole odds thing. I feel like it's been something that's come to the forefront more this season, like player odds, team odds shifting. It's not been a thing that people have looked at so much in past years, but this season. So like, I don't really have the experience to gauge odds movements much, but that is a massive drop for Chelsea and Liverpool. So I'd be curious to know what the story is there. What's the plan? I'm going to do Semenyo to Turkey. Can you share the graphic of all teams that have got something left to play for? 15 mins. Let's pause and have a sip of Holy. I think I'm caught up on Super Chats, unless it's frozen. More information is getting more competitive at the top. But this is it. But it's like, it's a difficult one to gauge from, because obviously the bookies get inside information, and that's when odds shift, or maybe it's people just betting that I've got inside information. But it doesn't necessarily mean something for sure, you know, when there's a big drop. Like, I remember there was that game this season where City's odds just plummeted like significantly, and it was because Foden and Haaland were both benched, I think it was. Does anyone remember that? So like, during the stream we knew something was up, but we didn't know what it was. So it's still like risky to act on it, but you know something's up when there's such a sudden drop. But maybe this will be a learning moment where there isn't anything wrong. Or maybe there is someone's benched or someone's out, who knows. But if there's no information, I'll just stick with Semenyo Cherki, and then I've got the bench if need be. Ms. Vladut says, 1 free transfer, Palmer to Saka or Rice, and why? Saka's more upside for sure. Rice's numbers have been pretty poor in terms of goal threat, and even defcons recently. So Saka's definitely better, yeah. I would go Saka. He got the goal and assist in 45 minutes last game week. Capitana says, why haven't you transferred out Chelsea players? And if you would, who for? Thoughts on Tottenham players? Porro and Richarlison. And which Palace player would you get in if you would? Palace, probably just Lacroix or Munoz. I'm not sure about Tottenham players. A bit unpredictable, aren't they? Richarlison, I think, is quite a nice punt. Yeah, I've had so many comments this week, like, why aren't you selling your Chelsea players? I've only got so many free transfers. If I was sitting here with, like, 5 free transfers, I'd be selling them. But I've only got as many free transfers as I've got, and I needed to buy Gabriel. And I think Semenyo to Cherki is probably a better move than selling a Chelsea player. So I'm not going to take, like, a -8. Unless there's a leak they're out injured or something. Otherwise, I'll just leave them. So yeah, it's just one of those, like, if I had more transfers, I'd get rid. But I've had them since Wildcard 32 when they're the double game week, so they're just still here for that reason. Josh says, start 2, João Pedro, DCL, Tavernier or Hill. Tavernier and João Pedro. I think Tavernier and Hill is honestly so close. Like, I've had Hill starting. I've landed on Tav. I start with Tav, and I'm going to finish with Tav starting. Oscar looking handsome today. Thank you very much, Edsty. Yeah, there's this drastic drop in odds, basically, is the big talking point before the deadline for Liverpool and Chelsea. Joe's been covering it on Twitter, and there's a Liverpool's odds dropped down by 0.28 estimated goals, and Chelsea's down by 0.2. Could mean something, could mean nothing. Like, there have been times in the past where those sort of drops have meant someone significant isn't playing or is benched. It could be brutal if that's like João Pedro and Palmer. That'd be really bad for my team. But I don't think we're going to get any news on Chelsea. We don't really tend to get leaks, but we'll see. Yeah, not even heard back from... messaged the Liverpool guy, but I've not heard from him. I asked another one, and he said... She's had a few different teams for Liverpool, and there's confusion whether it's Gakpo up front or Isak, so... Nothing of use. I think we'll be going in blind. 10 minutes. I'll make my transfer in a second as well. In fact, I'll just do it now. Don't need to delay on the Cherky move. Elio says, Semenyo to Doku. I've already got Cherky. I'm chasing first. I think Cherky's better than Doku. I'd really only consider that if, yeah, you're not expecting anyone above you to have Doku and you really need to find a way to close the gap. Like, if they've got Semenyo, then I guess you can justify it then. It's not a move I'd ever make normally, but I guess in the context of chasing a mini-league, it's okay. Again, unless there's something more upside you can do next week. Like, let's say if you don't make that move, you can buy Saka for free in 37, or you can buy Saka and Gyökeres. That might be better to just stick with Semenyo and do that. But yeah, in theory, I guess it's the sort of thing that makes sense at this stage when you're trying to close a gap. Caicedo isn't playing right. I don't know about Caicedo. It was the projected goals that have dropped. It's the projected goals that have dropped. So I don't think that would indicate Caicedo not playing. Gonna have a skim around on Twitter and stuff in case there's any news that I might have missed. But yeah, as it stands, just going to do Semenyo to Cherky, and then that's it. Unless there's like news Palmer is out or something, then I'll probably do Saka -4. But otherwise, I'm not doing anything outside of just the Cherky transfer. I'm not seeing anything. 8 minutes till deadline. Well, yeah, we'll soon know anyway what that big drop in odds means, if anything. I'm sure it means something. Joe Antro, thanks for 34 months. Would you start Tarkowski or Van Dijk? Tarkowski, definitely. Colourblind Engineer says he's got 5 free transfers for Bruggen, Struijk, O'Reilly, Hill, Palmer. Any transfer recommendations? I'll do Semenyo to Cherky, Palmer to Saka, Struijk to Gabriel. That's probably it. You could chuck in like a Thiago to Gyökeres if you're having to play Thiago. Or even Welbeck. I'd triple captain Haaland for sure. Callow says, is Doku triple captain good if I'm trying to catch? It's so like high risk, high reward, I think. Like if he has a game like last week where he bags a brace and gets whatever he got, 15, then it could definitely work. But ordinarily, I don't usually rate Doku as an FPL asset. Like if you look at his minutes and his starts, they're inconsistent. If you look at his goal involvements, they're inconsistent. Palmer's got a hyperextension, his kneecap's fallen off. So it's so high risk, high reward. He could end up getting like 4 points in the double, and you know Haaland could smash it. I feel like if I was going against Haaland, it'd be Cherky or O'Reilly. Let's stick a final captain poll up. Poll is up. 13 Killing says, quick thoughts on Struijk to Canvo, Semenyo, Cherky -4 in a bench boost or only one. Yeah, I don't think I'd take a -4 for Canvo. He's not guaranteed to start both. It's not a great double. I would just stick with Struijk, honestly. Oh, wait, he's flagged though, isn't he? So he's a doubt. Ugh. Because he could get 0, I suppose. I can't remember what the Struijk update was, though. What his chances are of playing. Wasn't he still hopeful he'll play? I don't think I'd do it, honestly. Does Canvo score 4 or more points? And does Struik definitely get 0? I don't think I'd do it, honestly. Even if it means bench boosting 1 fewer. Are you keeping that bench that way? Yeah, I'm going to leave it as it was. So Thiago second. Oh, Oblivious with the 5 gifted. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Taran says, best 8 million player to get to replace Palmer. Maybe Zabozlai? Unless you haven't got Triple City, then obviously, like, Cherky is by far the best. Scott says he's spooked by the Chelsea-Liverpool market odds. I'm benching João Pedro for Hinchelwood. Oh, Struik was training individually, but likely to start. There you go. Alright, I'll wait a couple more minutes and then lock that in. Cherky in. Craig says, start Wilson or DCL. I'd start Wilson for sure. Wilson over DCL. Who do you want to get relegated? I guess from an Arsenal perspective, I'd have to say Spurs. But who do you guys think gets relegated? Do you think it's West Ham? Or Spurs go down? We didn't even get to look at the scout selection. Just very quickly, this is the scouts team, the best team for this week. Henderson, Gabriel, Lacroix, O'Reilly, Bruno, Saka, Cherky, Gross, Haaland, Watkins and Welbeck. You reckon it's West Ham? Spurs to go down? I'm guessing West Ham are currently the favourites or not? Abdullah says choose one, Mukiele or Chow or Rodon. What's the clean sheet odds say on that? Sunderland 17%, Newcastle 23%. So yeah, I guess Newcastle go Chow. Rodons aren't any better. I would go Chow, yeah. Right, I need to make this transfer in a minute. 3 minutes till the deadline. This one's going down to the wire. I don't think there's anything on Liverpool or Chelsea, unfortunately. So going in blind. Oh, this could be a difficult game week. Like I was saying earlier, like Haaland's effective ownership is going to be over 200, so he won't help rank. O'Reilly won't help rank. Bruno won't help rank. An Arsenal clean sheet won't help rank. We're up against it this week. Going to need a bit of luck. Like if Brighton keep a clean sheet, Van Heck scores, then that's the sort of thing that's going to be needed. Yeah, nothing. No news, no leaks. Nothing here, nothing there. Alright, pause super chats because I'm going to make my transfer in a sec. Thoughts on Sarr? I wouldn't buy him. If you've got him, like, fine, but the odds drop. Basically, Chelsea and Liverpool's goal scorer odds fell quite a bit. We'll have to find out shortly if it means anything. Alright, confirmed transfer. Cherky's in. Cherky vice-captain. Cherky or O'Reilly vice-captain? I think Cherky, right? Not that it's going to matter, but I think Cherky probably will be my vice. Captain Poll, 86% Haaland, 8% O'Reilly, 4% Cherky, 2% other. Yeah, I'm keeping Palmer. I'm leaving it as it is. I don't know about this game week. Got a bad feeling. I don't like that odds drop. And like I was saying, there's 4 players in my team that don't help rank. So if you've got Haaland, Bruno, Gabriel, O'Reilly, you're down to 7 players this week that can impact rank. Yeah, if you've got your triple captain, I would use it. I would use it on Haaland, definitely. No team news. Yeah, that's it. Let me post my team. Game week 36. Struik. There we go. What transfers did everyone make in the end? And who did you captain? Don't forget to activate your triple captain. And that is it. That's the deadline. Oh, God. What are these lineups going to be? Nice door. Thank you. First time I think I've ever been complimented on my door in my life. I'm nervous for these lineups, I can't lie. Stressful game week. You copy. Yeah, what did everyone do in the end? You did Rice to Saka, Van Dijk to Van Heck. Nice. Should we wait for the lineups? I don't know if I can stream myself watching Palmer and João Pedro not start or some bullshit like that. You like your door? It's proper rustic. Thank you. Do check out Holy before you go. Right, I think we'll wrap up there. That was an interesting stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's see what the lineups are. Hopefully João Pedro and Palmer start. Let's put the outro song on. There we go. Yeah, good luck everyone this game week. Just 3 more game weeks to go. I'll probably be back tomorrow, transfer plans. And then the usual players to buy, team selection, and the experts next week. So yeah, thank you everyone for swinging by. I hope you have a good game week. Big green arrow. That is it from me. Focal out.
De Bruyne's corner. Holland! Goal! It's Mo Salah.